called Project what, somebody? That is a movement that is set to bring about, I believe, the image of the beast. Let's go to the screen right quick. I'm just going to just play this short video clip, and we want you to look at what we are facing. Listen. And this is from the Wall Street Journal. Listen to this.
This 920-page document would usher in the most conservative executive branch in modern American history, if enacted. It's called Project 2025. Its pages offer new administrations a blueprint for executing a right-wing agenda, from purging the government of thousands of civil servants to dismantling the Department of Education.
We do have to initiate the largest mass deportation project in the history.
Now, who is the president of this movement? His name is Kevin what, somebody? Roberts. Want to let you know, did you know that Kevin Roberts, the architect of 2025, has close ties to the radical Catholic group called Opus Dei? It's over, y'all. And this connected with the Jesuits? Talk to me, my brother.
Well, we know that their goal in the Counter-Reformation was to overthrow all that Protestant had accomplished.
Yes.
And in Quanta Cura, the encyclical, we can see that religious liberty, constituted religious liberty, was called insanity. So it's been Rome's objective to overthrow religious freedom and religious liberty in the United States of America for a very long time.
What I find interesting is that the leader of the Heritage Foundation, when he was asked about, who would be Trump's VP candidate pick, he was all for J.D. Vance. That that was like, wow, if we could get one guy in as the VP, let's pick him. And so, despite Trump kind of distancing himself from Project 2025 on Truth Social, his social media platform, he said, "Oh, I'm not associated with Project 2025." It's like, well, let's read through the lines here. I mean, sure, you can say that.
Yes.
But is that actually true? Is that what's actually being,
And didn't J.D. Vance write the preface for one of Kevin Roberts' books?
Yes. And who is J.D. Vance?
J.D. Vance is a Catholic convert as of 2019.
Right.
But he also presented back in 2022 at the St. Franciscan University of Steubenville, Sohrab Ahmari's conference. At that conference, another Catholic presenter, Dr. Chad Pecknold, presented specifically on Sunday laws. Now,
Right.
the significance of that is Sohrab Ahmari, who had J.D. Vance come and present, has been advocating for Sunday laws for a very long time. In fact, back about 2 years ago, when he was writing in an interview for Deseret News asked Sohrab Ahmari, "What do you think about restoring Sabbath laws in America?" And his response was, "That's my jam, man, definitely." So you have to understand that J.D. Vance is right in the thick of these individuals who are pushing for restoring Sabbath laws.
Let's look at this right here. It says the Heritage Foundation leader has long received. What does long receive mean? A long time. He has long received spiritual guidance from group, and his policy goals aligns with his teaching. So is Project 2025 Protestant, or is it Roman Catholic?
It's Catholic.
Wow. Listen to this right here. This is the man. It says, quote, Kevin Roberts, the Heritage Foundation president and the architect of Project 2025, the conservative think tank roadmap for a second Trump presidency, has close ties and receives regular spiritual guidance from an Opus Dei-led center in Washington, D.C., a hub of activity for the radical, and notice this, secretive Catholic group. Wow. Roberts, listen to this right here, acknowledged in a speech last September that for years he has visited the Catholic Information Center. So could it be that this group, or this Catholic-led group, is giving him the blueprint for the takeover of the United States? It says, quote, he has a K Street institution headed by an Opus Dei priest and incorporated by the Archdiocese of Washington on a week, how often? For mass and formation or religious guidance. The Opus Dei also organizes monthly retreats. Listen to this right here at the CIC. Brothers, this is creepy. Am I right? The Opus Dei, and this is a group that the former Jesuit priest Alberto Rivera talked about. And while they're talking about this, look at this. Look at this right here. Listen to this. This just came out. Project 2025 will redefine the Constitution in the name of Christianity. Have mercy. They're going to redefine the Constitution. Do you see this right here? Is this important? Just recently, Joel Whedon, Christian nationalist agenda is crushing our enemies and rewarding our friends. The king of the north is ready to take over from the king of the south.
We need to win. We need to wield power righteously. The Christian mantra, as it comes to power, is not to forsake power, but to rule righteously. It's not to forsake rule.
Did you hear that? To rule righteously. Brother Bohm, when it says rule righteously, can you agree this is talking about the church ruling the state righteously?
Yes, and it echoes the sentiments from this particular book right here. There was a statement made on page 870 of this book, and this is canon law. We've got several statements we'll take a look at here maybe in a moment. But this one by Gregory XIII, Ecclesiastica religionis inimici etiabile sunt coercendi, which means that enemies of the ecclesiastical religion may be coerced by arms. Those are the Catholic principles from the Decretum Gratiani right here.
But to rule righteously. And so in that I said, I want to win. I want Christians to have power. And with that power, I want it to be wielded righteously. What does that mean? It means crushing our enemies and rewarding our friends.
The end of Pride Month, the end of DEI, society reinforcing these things that we talk about as good, reinforcing not just agnostic or ethereal virtues, Christian virtues, Christian values. So when you see those four things, our enemies fired en masse, friends hired ascendant to positions of power all over, as judges, as appointments by the Senate, as vice president, money flowing to our networks, and then society reinforcing those values that those leaders and those friends and those networks are pushing, that's when you know we've made good progress. And so those are the tangible things to push for.
So when you see those things happening, that's when you know that we're making tangible progress, that we're winning.
Is that this movement, brothers and sisters, is serious, and we need to be watching.
So back to Whitney Webb. She says the man behind Trump's VP pickets worse than you think. While J.D. Vance has his own controversies, his close connection to billionaire Peter Thiel, who is poised to have unprecedented influence in the new Trump administration, should deeply unsettle every American who cares about freedom, privacy, and reigning in the surveillance state. Now, I read this article, and I'm just going to read you a little bit of it. It is a pretty jarring article, to say the least. And it certainly damped down my enthusiasm for the JD. After the recent revelation that Donald Trump has selected J.D. Vance as his vice president, public attention not only turned toward Vance, but also to billionaire Peter Thiel. Vance has been one of the several prominent Thiel proteges whose profile has risen in recent years, with other proteges of the PayPal co-founder, including OpenAI's Sam Altman and Andrew Palmer's Lucky. Recent reports have also noted that Thiel first recruited Vance into his circle while Vance was still a student at Yale Law School. Shortly thereafter, Vance joined Thiel's investment firm Mithril Capital, where he worked for 2 years before joining Revolution Ventures. Vance played a major role in Revolution's Rise of the Rest seed fund, whose major investors included Amazon's Jeff Bezos and the Walton family of Walmart, who boast longstanding deep ties to the Clinton family. Vance later launched his own venture capital firm, Narya Capital, in 2020, which was heavily funded by Thiel, as well as former Google CEO Eric Schmidt, who we know is a CIA buddy, and was very much involved in the lockdown. Okay, so it gets worse. Both Schmidt and Thiel are key members of the steering committee of the controversial closed-door and overtly globalist Bilderberg Conference. Newsweek once called Schmidt and Thiel the two most influential figures at Bilderberg. Thiel has donated heavily to Vance's political career, giving $15 million to Vance's successful Senate bid in 2022 election cycle, in what was then the largest donation ever given to one Senate candidate. Thiel also joined Vance, a former never-Trumper, on a visit to Trump's Mar-a-Lago, where Vance successfully won the former president's blessing. Thiel also connected Vance to other members of the so-called PayPal mafia, like David Sachs, who donated $1 million to Vance and hosted a fundraiser for him. Sachs, along with PayPal co-founder Elon Musk, were allegedly a key factor in Trump's selection of Vance as vice president, as they ran a secret lobbying campaign for Vance that also included media presenter Tucker Carlson. After leaving PayPal, Thiel would follow a similar path in creating another company, Palantir. Now, we've talked about Palantir here on this show. We showed you how they're doing what the CI can't do legally, so they do it privately. So Palantir, Thiel founded Palantir. Palantir's, that guy Alex Carr, is the engine on which the surveillance state runs. And soon after Vance was announced as Trump's vice president, it was reported that Palantir co-founder Joe Lonsdale, as well as Palantir itself, were backing a Trump-Vance super PAC called America PAC.